Have you ever dreamed of living in a world-class city like New York, London, or Sydney? For decades, these places promised opportunity, culture, and a better life. But today, that dream is slipping away. A silent crisis is reshaping the world's greatest cities. Not through war or disaster, but through something far more subtle: the relentless rise in the cost of living. What happens when the people who give a city its identity can no longer afford to stay? Welcome back to Travel Haven. In today's video, we're counting down the top 10 cities being transformed and, in some cases, destroyed by rising costs. From North America to Europe and beyond, these are the places where the dream is fading fastest. Our countdown begins in a city of 7 hills, Lisbon. Once Europe's hidden gem, affordable, artistic, alive. A place where dreamers could build a life under golden skies. But that version of Lisbon is fading. After the 2008 financial crisis, Portugal opened its doors to foreign investment. Golden visas, relaxed short-term rental rules, and global demand. The impact was immediate. Rents surged across neighborhoods like Alfama and Barro Alto. Homes became assets, communities became listings. Entire buildings shifted into short-term rentals, replacing long-term residents with a revolving door of visitors. For many locals, Lisbon no longer feels like home, but a backdrop. Housing costs have more than doubled, while wages have barely moved. Families are being pushed outward into longer commutes and uncertain futures. Local businesses that once served generations are disappearing, replaced by shops designed for tourism. What remains is still beautiful, but increasingly hollow. A gilded cage where the people who built it can no longer afford to stay. Lisbon's transformation is a warning. When a city becomes too desirable, it risks losing itself. But Lisbon is only the beginning. At number 9, we arrive in Miami, a city of sun, culture, and rising costs that are pushing its residents to the edge. In Miami, the dream has always been tied to sunshine and opportunity. But recently, that dream has shifted. During the pandemic, an influx of remote workers and international buyers drove demand to new heights. Home prices surged dramatically by as much as 50% in just a few years. For the workers who keep the city running, the reality is very different. Hospitality staff, service workers, and essential employees are being priced out of the very city they sustain. Longer commutes, fewer affordable options, growing pressure. Miami has become a paradox, a booming city that fewer of its own residents can afford to live in. So the question becomes, who is this version of Miami really built for? If this city shocks you, the next city will take you by surprise. Number 8. Dubai, where rapid growth and global demand are driving costs beyond what many can sustain. At first glance, Dubai looks like a city of endless opportunity, a skyline of ambition, a global hub of wealth. For years, it marketed itself as a place where anyone could start fresh. But beneath that image lies a growing divide. As global demand rises, housing costs have followed, especially in desirable areas. Yet for many workers, wages have not kept pace. Large portions of the workforce live far from the city center, commuting long distances to maintain the lifestyle others enjoy. And without permanent residency for most, stability itself becomes uncertain. Dubai presents a different kind of affordability crisis, one not just about price, but about permanence. A city of opportunity that for many is only temporary. If this city shocks you, wait until you see number 1. At number 7, Sydney, where a world-class lifestyle now comes with a price many can no longer afford. Sydney has long represented the ideal lifestyle: strong economy, coastal beauty, and global appeal. But that success has created its own problem. Demand continues to rise, driven by international attention and high-income professionals. Housing supply hasn't kept up. Prices have climbed to the point where home ownership is out of reach for many. Even renting has become a long-term challenge. Young people are leaving. Essential workers are being pushed out. The city's identity is shifting. from accessible opportunity to exclusive privilege. Sydney's question is no longer about growth. It's about who gets to stay. But in this next city, the divide runs even deeper. At number 6, Los Angeles, a city of opportunity where rising costs are widening the gap between those who can stay and those who can't. Los Angeles is a city built on ambition, but beneath its image lies a widening gap. Despite its size, housing supply has remained restricted, pushing costs higher year after year. Home ownership is increasingly out of reach. Rents continue to climb. The consequences are visible across the city. Long commutes from distant suburbs, overcrowded housing, rising homelessness, a growing divide between those who can afford stability and those who cannot. Los Angeles reveals a different side of the crisis. Not just rising costs, but inequality at scale. Traveling back to Europe, the story takes yet another turn. But before we move, thank you for enjoying our content. If you want more videos like this one, be sure to subscribe and like for more. And now, back to our top 5 cities entering a different stratosphere of unaffordability. At number 5, Amsterdam, a city known for livability, now facing mounting pressure from limited space and growing demand. In Amsterdam, livability was once the standard, but limited space and rising demand have changed that equation. Tourism and short-term rentals have reduced long-term housing supply. At the same time, higher-income workers have pushed prices upward. Residents are being displaced, and neighborhoods are shifting. The risk is subtle, but significant. A city known for community becoming increasingly transient, still beautiful, but less rooted. And some cities have already crossed that line. At number 4, San Francisco, where innovation has driven prosperity, but also pushed affordability to its limits. San Francisco became the center of a technological revolution, but that success came with consequences. Rapid wealth creation collided with limited housing supply. Prices surged beyond what many residents could afford. Artists, teachers, and middle-income workers were pushed out. What remains is a city transformed, where innovation thrives, but community has been strained. A powerful example of what happens when growth outpaces balance. In this next city, that tension is shown more clearly. At number 3, New York City, a global icon where the cost of living is reshaping the very dream it represents. New York City has always been a symbol of ambition, a place where people come to build something bigger, but that promise is under pressure. Global wealth has poured into the city's real estate market. Luxury developments continue to rise, while affordable housing lags behind. Rents have reached historic highs, pushing costs across every borough. The gap between rich and poor is becoming more visible. For many, the challenge is no longer building a future, but simply staying. At number 2, London, a city of immense wealth and history, now defined by a growing divide in affordability and culture. In London, global influence meets growing inequality. Property has become an international asset, driving prices beyond local reach. Home ownership is increasingly unrealistic for younger generations. Even middle-income professionals are feeling the pressure. The result is a city dividing into 2 realities, one of immense wealth and one of constant strain. London's challenge isn't just affordability, it's balance. Because when that balance is lost, the consequences are felt everywhere. And now, our final destination, the city where this crisis reaches its peak. At number 1, Vancouver, a city whose housing crisis has become a global symbol of just how far affordability can collapse. At the top of our list is Vancouver, a city known for its natural beauty, but defined by its housing crisis. For years, prices have climbed beyond what local incomes can support. Global demand, limited supply, and delayed policy responses have pushed the market to extremes. Today, affordability is no longer a challenge. It's a barrier. Families are leaving. Businesses struggle to find workers. Communities are thinning. The impact is visible. Schools with fewer students, local businesses closing, neighborhoods losing their identity. Vancouver remains one of the most beautiful cities in the world, But for many, it no longer feels like a place to build a future, a city admired globally, that its own residents are being priced out of. Behind every statistic is a human story. This crisis isn't just financial, it's deeply personal. Cities were once places of opportunity. Now, for many, they are becoming places of exclusion. This isn't the result of a single decision, but years of choices that treated housing as an investment rather than a necessity. The cities on this list are not exceptions. They are signals. The question is no longer whether this will continue, but how far it will go. And ultimately, what kind of cities we choose to build next. If you found this perspective valuable, consider leaving a like. It helps more people see these stories. And let me know in the comments, which city do you think is changing the fastest? If you enjoyed this, subscribe for more travel deep dives, and we'll see you in the next one.